Yeah. Did you get one? No, I, oh, that's really cool. Yeah.
Well, that's never gonna change.
Yeah, I just can't. Messages.
See, that's good. She's doing it. Yeah.
April 1957. He's an army brat. Oh my gosh. I do not, I would say Washington. But that. I have not do that, so she doesn't. She won't see. Yeah, it was occupied by the. So, Fort Person, Colorado.
Could be sitting, look up and down there.
Crazy.
Hey. Goes strong. Oh, it goes back. It's 60 last month, so. No, I'm not. Please, how are you, Brad? It's a week. Good, how are you? She gets. It's.
I know.
Got the next best thing. Kids doing.
Well, they're all right, they said today.
Oh, really?
Joy.
Weeds over there.
Yes. Every day.
Who's Mr. Bay? That's what we do. Yeah. Yeah, they can just, ma'am, do you? It's a US.
At least hope it's priority. I'd like to call the more, the meeting to order, after joining me in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, proclamations, we have none. Public comments, petitions, memorials. Is this one, we have Larry come on?
No, that would be your own business.
Oh. So, then I guess we move on to the consent agenda. Are there any questions?
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented. I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda as presented. Any further discussion? If not, Don? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed 5-0. Now moving on to full business. Larry? There you are. I didn't see over there. To discuss the 2000 Oregon sewer.
Thank you very much. I did a little research on it. The project, last 2 weeks ago, we told you where there's a building we were going to put up the city sewer. I brought up 3 possible solutions. The city could move the sewer, or the city could allow us to build on top of it, or the city could abandon the sewer and we would take responsibility. I was asked to talk to the 3 other people attached to the sewer and what they give their thoughts. There's 3 of them: Steve Stahlbommer, Farm and Home, Chad and Sam Soden, their construction company, and Veronica Barber. They all said, okay, wasn't any problem. I explained to the situation, and of course I gave my opinion, but there didn't appear to be any problem.
Brad, did you want to add anything?
No, I think that option 3, I think would be the best one for the city. I think that option 1, as everybody can see, was very, very expensive. Option 2, it's just something that makes me uncomfortable, just because I know it's plastic line and there's probably minimal risk there, but you can just never say never. It's kind of, it reminds me of the situation that we had over on Iowa Street, kind of very similar situation. I think that option 3 really is our best option here. We would pick up I believe the idea is that we would pick up the sewer again, responsibility at that manhole. That's the second man.
Yeah.
That sits in that lot. And from there on, it'll be our responsibility again. Before that, it'll be private. I feel that that's the best option. Andy, do you have anything to add?
No, so option 2 about building over the top, like you said, the risk is minimal, but as we've experienced, you'll never be able to sell it because of the easement down the middle if you wanted to someday. So we kind of talked about it at staff, and if commission decided to abandon that, we can sure put together an agreement, because we'll have to put something on file with the register of deeds, so that'll keep your title clear and won't have any hangups later on. You have to finance something else.
Are there any other questions? Brian, any questions?
I don't have any questions.
Which option were you wanting to go with?
I just proposed them all. I was agreed to move it, which was my first choice, was very expensive. I mean, I was shocked by it. I would,
Remember that.
I would advise it, but then I brought it up. I would prefer the third option also.
Okay,
Well, I think what we do there is maybe assign our easement, whoever you person, I want to implement, that way the easement will still be there, but it'd be his, if you want to determine that he could be.
So do we need a motion for that, or do we just need to come back with something in writing and then we go from there? Just do consensus now?
Yeah, if we have a consensus, because it'll take some agreements and we'll have to work together to get everything spelled out.
The other folks that are connected to the sewer have to sign off on whatever you write up. We had on record that they agree to this.
We'll probably want to go ahead and get something from them. I'll have to look. I have to look, I have to look at the way the easement was written. With the decision on that, but if you give me some time, we can come back.
Evans, are you good with option three?
Option 3.
I'm good with option three. Brian, what about you?
Yeah, I agree.
Then Tony, are you okay with option three?
Yes.
So we have consensus to do that, and we'll let you all figure out the details. And Larry, I'm okay if you came with so many options, and you obviously researched them all, and I appreciate you doing all that work before you even came in front of us.
So I think we're all in agreement.
You're
Headed
agreeing
down the
with,
right road.
you're in agreement with 3-2.
Yes.
Very
yes. I had no problem with all three of them, but that's why I kind of left it open.
So then when's it gonna go up? When's the,
We're hoping to start on their move. They're pretty good, but it's been so wet. We haven't got much done, but the buildings and been ordered. And, wheels are coming.
it would take in July, I would say it's been too late.
Don't count on that property tax yet.
We're waiting now.
thank you.
Thanks, Larry.
Good one, the legal up here.
Okay, moving on to new business, the revenue neutral rate intent. Brad, if you'd like to.
Yeah, so we need to let the county clerk know of our intent, of what our intent is with the revenue neutral rate. As I attached in the packet, the assessed valuation of the city did go up, as everybody, I'm sure knows. But it went up by about, $4 billion. So we're looking at an assessed valuation of $34,973,473, as opposed to $30,959,502. That was a 2023 assessment. That was set in our mill levy rate for this year for the city of Iowa for the 2024 budget was 42.436. The revenue neutral rate, and what that is the revenue neutral rate is designed to give you the same amount of dollars per mill as what you would have from the previous year. So if the assessed valuation goes up, your mill levy rate is going to decrease, which that revenue neutral rate is 37.566. Now, I'm recommending that we inform the county clerk by July 19th of our plan to exceed the revenue neutral rate at a mill levy rate 42.436, which is the 2024 budget. And what that does, it just gives us room to get through our budget and figure out where that mill levy needs to be. Does not mean that we're going to be at that number. It just means that we're going to work through this to where we need to be. And so we just need to get that to the county clerk by July 19th. And so that's my recommendation.
I moved this last time to do.
What?
According to this, it was a good thing we did it last year.
I just like the idea that we are not tied into anything yet when we don't have complete knowledge of what the budget's gonna look like.
That's correct. And this also doesn't mean that we can't be revenue neutral. It just means that it gives us a little more time to figure out where we need to
You can't exceed that number.
yes, that's correct.
So we need a motion, don't we?
We do, yes.
Make a motion for the city to inform the county clerk by July 19th. I want this plan to exceed the revenue neutral rate, the mill rate levy of 42.436 mils, which reflects the current mill levy rate. Set the public hearing date for September 9th, 2024.
It's been moved and seconded to inform the clerk of our plan for the revenue neutral rate. Is there any further discussion or questions? If not, Don?
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
Motion passed 4-1. Moving on to unsafe and dangerous.
Yes, so we had set our properties for the first meeting in July to revisit on the unsafe and dangerous list. I will have Dave Wilson kind of come up here and take us through these properties one by one and kind of and explain what, if anything has been done. And so Dave, if you want to come up.
I'll start off with 914 of Oregon Street. It's pretty much the same sequence that the update has been done. 914 has two different properties. There's a white building, and then there's a metal building. The white building has adjacent to it is some stands that were for bulk storage facility that was there. And it appears that the Davies Oil maybe subsequently sold, leased their property to Berwick Oil. I don't know the details of that exactly. And there's still the railroad still owns that property. So the white building, in my opinion, is very poor condition, and the stands, the sword stands for the bulk plant, serves no purpose any longer. The other property is a metal building, and it's leased by Ag Partners. They intend to dispose of that building. Apparently, some type of to have that, it'll remove the structure altogether. They've made some improvements to it by cutting down some trees and cleaning up the property, but the condition of the structure is still it's not serving any purpose. It will never be used for storage and maintenance.
Do they have a timeline when they removing that
The
building?
original Ag Partners had indicated that they would do it soon after their busy season. Some of that's gone, but we've had quite a bit. Fields.
So we don't have any idea when they're gonna take it down.
No, but the gentleman that is doing that for Ag Partners came to my office and indicated that they would try to dispose.
Is that including the storage tank? Thanks to the stands?
That's not. Ag Partners has the metal storage building, and either Berwick or Davies Oil still has the railroad still shows them as the leasing. Davies Oil. Or the county parcel still shows. Davies.
So do we have to get on to them then to get those removed as well? I mean, what's our next step there?
I think it's probably a legal matter that,
Start a new one on the.
Talking about the brick structures, we'll probably have to start a new one of those because they haven't been noticed, they've only been noticed for that white brick building. We followed procedure on that white brick building, so. Once we've completed this round, I know there's a couple properties popping back up and haven't started this process over again, so we can include those on that. So while I'm up here, maybe as we walk through these one by one, Dave's gonna have a recommendation as far as what the commission's next step is. And we've all talked about this, Brad and Dave and I, and I think the preferred way to handle this is once the commission reaches a consensus on how it wants to proceed with each of these structures, we'll bring back a resolution, because those properties that the commission decides to demolish, we want to go ahead and make sure we get all that notice served. I think you'll find that a lot of these properties have made enough progress that we warrant an extension. One of them's even coming off of the list. Because they've got completed. So if you could kind of maybe decide structure by structure, I think it would be easier to come back with a resolution.
So on this first one, I would say, like I said, you're right, the first thing we can't do things, we have to start that over again, but with the, I would assume Ag Partners is gonna follow through with what they've said. So is there anything we need to do on that?
I think additional time for the metal building. And we're gonna have to get some more information on the brick structure. So both of them will require some additional time.
And is the commission good with that, giving them additional time? I mean, like I said, the first one, you don't really have much choice since we have to go through the whole process, but for the tearing the building down.
Maybe I misspoke. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm just talking about the new one would have to be on the tank stands, I guess.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Both buildings are good to make a decision on.
Right, yeah, I didn't speak clearly as well. Yeah, I understand the storage things, we have to wait, but the buildings, we're saying, Dave's saying we need to give them additional time to get them torn down.
Yeah.
To tear it down.
Yeah. Evans?
Good with that.
Yeah, how long? 3 months? 90 days? Yeah.
How much additional time?
I think they should be able to determine that in 90 days.
Brian, any comments?
No, I'm good.
So, is that one clear?
You ready for the 1101?
Yep.
So is it 90 days?
Yes.
90 days from today.
Yep.
(1101) Miami Street is a property that the building permit has expired. There's no evidence of any work being done there. If work has been done, it's an demolition of the inside. It appears to me that it's a structure that is known to be repaired.
So you recommend just moving ahead on the demolition?
Yes.
I would agree. Evans?
Yes, I agree.
Dave? Cody? Brian?
I couldn't hear which one that was. I'm sorry.
1101 Miami Street. This is the.
Which one?
Right by 12th Street. It's owned by Pablo Carval. It's someone that has in front of it, that if we
Yeah.
blow it hard, it's gonna fall over.
I agree.
Okay, moving on to 1109 Delaware.
1109 Delaware is, he just needs more time. He's purchased property to shore up his own personal property next door. And, the house still has some potential for, repairs, but, I think it just needs additional time. The garage, they did some temporary work to shore it up, and it's more presentable than it's been in the past.
And are you thinking 90 days the same as the first one, or do you think longer? I mean, you said the permit,
The permit is good for 180 days. But he has no permit.
oh, it doesn't have a permit, sorry. So 90 days in, are you thinking to see progress or?
It'd be kind of handy to keep them all on the
On the
same
same
calendar, and if there's progress, you can always extend it out again.
Okay,
Maybe leave it at 90 days.
everybody okay with that?
Yes.
Right?
That sounds good to me.
And moving on to 1011 Kickapoo Street.
The dwelling structure, has shown quite a bit of progress, and he did have a building permit. I think he had some, indecision made with the contractor that was doing the work on the structure. But the garage itself is in deplorable condition, and it's deflected quite a bit, roof line and the structure itself. So my recommendation that the garage, yeah.
Notice that structure is now for sale by Marge Realty.
Yeah, I know it has a for sale sign. I won't pay attention.
Very few that garages.
Yeah,
So the demo of the garage with the house is making enough progress that,
When did
Or
it,
is-
oh, I'm sorry.
I mean, has it only been the garage that's been on the demo list, or is it both the garage and the house?
both were on that list. But, and the house did get a building permit, and they did quite a bit of work, exterior siding and that kind of thing. It's somewhat presentable from the outside. But again, the garage is with that.
So then demolish the garage and then the house, what do we do with that? Do we just 90 days?
90 days. Mr. Foley has been here before, but he's has some health problems that prevent making that decision very quickly.
Anybody concerned on that one? Do we, I mean, Evans, you good with this?
You good with it?
Dave?
Me too.
Ryan?
No problems.
All right, moving on to 900 Iowa Street.
900 Iowa Street has the multiple accessory structures that none of which have had a building permit. And there's some work that has been done to the main garage structure, accessory structure. But it was done without a permit, and it has not been, in my opinion, correctly. The shingles were removed and the furring strips were placed in the metal, placed over the top of the furring strip. So it is my recommendation that the accessory structures be down.
I would agree with that. Evans, your opinion? Sorry, I always look to the right, so you can.
Yeah, that's yeah. I'm good with that.
Dave?
Yeah, I agree with those structures. I think that property's been cited for accumulation too. I mean, it looks terrible. But
Yeah.
like a dump.
I agree.
Ryan?
What was the owner on this one?
Albino Mendez.
Albino Mendez,
Yeah, I'm gonna disagree on that one. I think we need to work with him a little bit more because that's all he has left after his house burnt down.
he disagrees that we need to work with him more since that's all he has left since, you know, he's the one that lost his house. And he's currently staying in a,
For the,
without water.
you got a permit for that, but it expired, so he's living there.
I think I'm still okay with moving ahead. Does anybody else have any other? Okay. Okay. Moving on to 715 Potawatomi Street.
It has just the garage on there. Currently, the garage is open. It has holes in the roof, and it's an invitation to more problems. And so it's my recommendation that the garage be demolished.
Tony, and to the left this time. Would you agree with that?
Yes, I've seen it.
Dave,
Yeah, I think we should. Figure out.
Evans,
Yes.
Brian?
Yes,
And then we move on to 804 Kickapoo Street.
804 Kickapoo Street has changed. The old Cedar Properties owner had indicated to me that he's transferred the ownership to entity. But he's also the roof has been replaced, the siding's been replaced, and the house appears to be substantially repaired. I haven't been on the inside, but they've done work in there. And they did so with building permits and they kept the property pretty well maintained. So I indicated that I could remove that property.
That's an easy
It
one.
needs additional time.
Yeah, like those.
I think that's pretty easy to say yes, so. Unless anybody wants to. Okay, moving on to 411 Delaware.
411 Delaware needs the owner has gotten licensed to do repairs. We've made some emergency repairs on the front. And some of the trees and stuff are coming out of there. And I think he just needs more time. So, 90 days. I don't think he'll have it completely repaired by that time, but he'll have the permits and everything.
Like we've always said, as long as we're seeing progress and some movement forward, that's a lot of it, so. Tony, you okay with extension?
I have a question. Is that big two-story yellow house?
No,
No, it's a smaller house right next to what used to be a church.
Oh, Kickapoo. Oh,
No, we're on Delaware.
411 Delaware.
Good old clean residents. Gorgeous. The blue house and that blue house on the south side of the road.
Yeah.
It's got a garage with it on the alley, and he's done.
Oh, is that where that big old shed, that new shed is? No, that's 300.
So the back of it is on the alley where the hospital park. is.
Yeah, okay.
No, this is 411 Delaware.
Yeah, I'm wrong too.
I'm gonna go with Dave saying that where it's okay to give him 90 days.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Are you okay with that?
Yes, I'm sorry, I got off track.
Both of you okay? Brian?
sounds good.
Okay. Moving on then to 410 Kickapoo.
The owner, they had some kind of delay. They're and are not working on the property just yet. They've done quite a few things. They demolished the back side of the house that was failing, and they removed the ramps. And I think they're waiting on shingles and that kind of thing to. So I think he just needs more time. And he's currently is building permits on that structure as well.
Any concerns there?
Well, his permits until 11/24.
11/27 to the 24. Yeah.
Okay, so I think we're okay with the 90 days extension. Moving on to 522 Oregon.
That property, he may be in the process of buying adjacent properties as well and doing repairs to all of them. And he's going to spend substantial amounts of his own personal assets to remodel and redo the structure. And, they are commercial structures. Some of them have some problems, common walls and common area dividing the two properties. But he's got a good grasp of construction, and I think he needs additional time. Right now, there's not any permits or anything on it, but I understand that he's have conversed with him regarding repair of the structure.
What do you plan for a grant of some kind to?
He was applying for the grant. I've not seen it, so. He just needs more additional time. I think it's probably going to take far more than 90 days, but I think it's a good follow-up. Really.
Anybody have concerns about that? No. Moving on to 310 Hiawatha.
310 Hiawatha, there's been no building permits, and I believe that property still continues to be a blight to the neighborhood. It's my opinion that it should be more.
You said you agree? Evans?
I agree.
Dave? Brian?
I've got nothing to add.
What?
I-
Okay.
I have,
Okay. I agree as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. That was a lot to go through. Okay, moving on to years of service awards.
Yes, we have 5 years of service awards here. The first one that we'll present is to Gene Atwin. This is for his years of service, not only with the public works, but this is with the fire department. Gene, if you'd like to come up.
No, it comes with our appreciation. So I go. Thank you very much. If he gives a speech, Dave, then you're next. So just so you know.
Our next year's of service award was.
I mean, we should mention it, or do you want to do them another time?
Now, we can go ahead and mention, but our next year's of service award was for Mike Gruber. He's our chief of police. He has been with the city of Hiawatha for 10 years now, and is a very, very valuable asset to the city. Unfortunately, he could not be here tonight, so we will move on to Quentin Overdick, who has been with the fire department for 5 years, and he is here tonight. And so we would like to recognize him for his dedication being a volunteer firefighter is a very, very, big thing. Having been through a Cal fire myself, I can tell you the hard work students they do. Next, we have Ryan Shockley. He also is not here tonight, but he has been on the volunteer fire department for 15 years now, making a big difference. And he's one of our assistant chiefs. Makes a very big difference in leadership down there with really covering the city. Next on this list for 5 years is Dave Wilson. He has been in the code enforcement for 5 years now. And so we would like to recognize Dave for the hard work that he does.
It's a good time for you to have after tonight. Thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
That is all for the boards.
So it's always good to see that we're handing those out. It says a lot, people are staying with us this long. When loyalty is not always a big thing anymore. So I appreciate everybody who earned those awards and look forward to handing out a whole lot more. Okay, moving on to number 4, the KDOT grant programs.
Yes, the KDOT grant programs, and the letter that Leroy King sent to the city on June 21st, at the end of the letter, it was mentioned that there are grant programs available for the city that can utilize some state funds to improve pedestrian safety along the First Street corridor. I believe that these programs are something that the city should look at starting immediately. A lot of these programs, like the Safe Routes to School program, a lot of them take many years to implement. A lot of times there's a planning phase and an implementation phase. And so it could be a multi-year process. But I believe that this is something that we can use in order to really kind of make that corridor safer. Especially, I know there's some vulnerable road user money. It was mentioned the active transportation planning toolkit. I know there's some vulnerable road user. There's an assessment toolkit for that as well. And that money can be used to connect, like say, Pemberton Village and Kenton View Apartments, maybe by some sidewalk improvements along First Street, to kind of make sure that everybody has access into town safely. And so, like I said, these are multi-year programs, and I would just like permission to kind of get this process started. And so that's what this is tonight.
I'm absolutely in favor of that. Nothing ever moves quickly. So, and this doesn't hold us to anything, but it just gives us closer to what we need to do next. So
That's right.
that's I would entertain a motion.
Make a motion to authorize the city administrator to begin the process of looking into funding regarding grant programs from KDOT to improve pedestrian safety along First Street corridor.
Well, second.
It's been moved and seconded to authorize the city administrator to begin looking into the funding regarding grant programs from KDOT. Any further discussion?
Yeah, does this have anything to do with the polls?
No,
This is just the Safe Routes to School program.
This is outside of what's going on at First and Oregon right now. This doesn't, the KDOT wanted to make it clear that these funds are available outside of what is going on at First and Oregon. And so this is completely outside of that discussion.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay, Sean? Oh, wait.
I'd like to consider or maybe open it up for discussion if one of KDOT three stripes that First Street corridor to consider moving the crosswalk that's there at First and Oregon, striping for that, move it to the north side of that intersection which would end up with that crosswalk coming out by Red Bull instead of by the car wash. The car wash has no sidewalks. There's no place for people cross there. There's almost a ramp that's there that gets you up on the slab where the car wash is, but I think it might be something to think about to move that crosswalk to the north side of the intersection, which would mean we would also need a crosswalk on the east side of the intersection across East Oregon.
Okay.
But I don't know if we can, I don't know where we're at with KDOT on marking that. I know they're gonna mark it where school starts, but and this study, these grant programs may come up with a whole different solution, but that's gonna take a while, so that's kind of where I'm coming from.
Will there be a concern that there's no sidewalk on the north side of that street?
Oregon,
Yeah, I mean, if you're walking towards the high school, if you're on the north side, there's no.
well, that's why you need two crosswalks. You'd have to
Oh, so it's across.
cross
Gotcha.
East Oregon to get back on the south side of East Oregon to go towards the school.
So how does, is that just discussion with KDOT on how that looks, or?
That would just be a discussion with KDOT. I know they had talked that maybe they kind of hoped that they would get that straight before school. There's no, I don't know of any project that's not coming anytime soon. They said that they could be even pushed back to fall originally. And so it is a discussion we have with KDOT now. Let's see what we can do with the crosswalks.
Any other questions? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passed 5-0. Moving on to communications. Brad, do you have anything to add?
I don't have anything to add to the communications tonight. We have the code enforcement report, the June income statement, the revenue and expense report, the judge's report, the July chamber newsletter, and the lunch and learn flyer from Rainbow, as well as fireworks. And also Stacy added the July calendar for Parks and Rec.
Any questions for Brad? You guys know, say finally got the free swim in today. The
Yes.
school that wasn't cooperating, so. Okay, Andy, how long?
I don't think it takes 10 minutes to put it.
This is under, okay,
I would ask that city administrator join these sessions.
make a motion that the city commission recess into executive session in the conference room for 10 minutes to discuss matters of potential litigation. The justification for closing the meeting is to consult with the city attorney to discuss matters of privilege under the attorney-client relationship. The open meeting will resume at 6:28. The commission chambers and to include the city attorney, the city administrator, and the commissioners. Commissioners. Move to second, any further discussion? Not done.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Motion passes 5-0. I can make a motion that at 6:28, came back into open meeting, took no binding action during executive session.
Second.
Moved in second, any further discussion? On. All in favor? Aye. Motion passed 5-0. Moving on to governing body comments, I have none. Brian? Brian, do you have any comments under governing body?
I don't think it turned itself on.
No, I still need it. Dave
I don't have anything.
Evans?
I don't know if they.
Tony?
Well, the fireworks display was beautiful, amazing. Thank you. City of Hiawatha, the attendance was great. I had a wonderful time. Everybody was cordial to each other. Happy with the joy again. That's all, that's all.
Okay, Brian, do you have any comments?
I tell him he's talking or not.
No, it's not.
Oh. That's gonna be good.
Okay. He's not muted. No. No, okay. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion we adjourn.
I'll second
Don?
All in favor?
Motion passes 4-0. Very much.